Okay, so let's start with the first function, which is fx equal to x mod x. Function fx is combining both the functions x and mod x, where mod x is always going to be positive function in all the cases. And so next what we are going to do is we are going to make a chart in which we are going to find out the values of x mod x and then how the function fx will be behaving for different domains. The domains are like the critical point, this is x less than 0 and then x greater than 0 and then for the value x equal to 0. And what we see that the x has negative and positive and 0 value for different domains, and for different domains mod x is positive and 0 when x equal to 0. So the function fx which we found is going to be negative for x less than 0, and for x greater than 0 f of x is going to be positive because the x and mod x both are going to be positive, and it will be 0 at x equal to 0. So the only thing left now is to draw the diagram of function. And when we draw the function for x greater than 0, it looks like a half parabola. When we draw it for x less than 0, it's also the half parabola from inverted uh, parabola. And at x equal to 0, the value is nothing but 0. Between minus 1 and 1, you can see there is no jump, there is no break, and so the function is differentiable at every point, even at the critical point, which is x equal to 0. For more insight, you can also check left hand limit and right hand limit at x equal to 0, and the function is differentiable between minus 1 and 1. For every differentiable function, it is also true that the function will be continuous as well. And between minus 1 and 1, we can clearly see that the function is increasing, strictly increasing, there is no dips. So we will be matching option A with P, Q and R. Okay, so let's now try next function, which is fx equals to square root mod x. And by convention, a square root function is always taken as a positive function. Okay, so if we have to draw this function, then we must first decide the domain of this function. And as we know that mod x is always going to be positive for all real values. It also means that we are going to draw the diagram or graph for all the real x values. Okay, so let's first find out how the function equation will look like for x greater than 0 and x less than 0. For x greater than 0, mod x is going to be positive x, and for x less than 0, mod x is going to be negative x. And for fx, we will be writing the function as square root x for positive x values and square root minus x for negative x values. And thus we can define function f of x, or we are just writing y instead of function fx. So y will be having square root x for x greater than 0, and y will be equal to square root minus x for x less than 0. And now if we try to do some more simplification to find out how the function will actually look like, so what we can do is just rewrite the whole equation in this form. Okay, so we have got our final equations as x equal to y square for x greater than 0 and x equal to minus y square for x less than 0. And now what we will do is we will try to draw these functions on a coordinate axis. So now we try to draw it. The only prerequisite is you must know how to draw function x equal to y square and x equal to minus y square. They are nothing but the similar equations like parabola. but in different shapes, and also see that as the y equal to square root function mod x is a positive function, so we are not drawing it below positive y-axis. Now let's carefully look at the cusp, which is a sharp corner in the curve at point x equal to 0. And if there is a cusp like this in any function, so we can clearly say that it is not going to be differentiable at point x equal to 0. But what about continuity? The function is continuous for sure between -1 and 1 because the function has no unexpected break or jump at any point between -1 and 1. So the function is continuous. So finally the function is continuous but not differentiable, and also not differentiable at least at one point between -1 and 1. And also look at that the function is not strictly increasing between -1 and 1. It is going down to the value 0 and then it is going and rising. So the function is not strictly increasing between -1 and 1. So our final answer will be P and S only.